News Channel 11, in your corner at 6.
It looks like she'd been in a bad car wreck.
Look like somebody beat her half to death.
I take responsibility for it. It rests with me.
She went in for a routine procedure at Johnson City Medical Center, but the 89-year-old came out looking like this. Tonight we investigate outrage in the operating room. Our community watchdog investigation found Mountain States Health Alliance's flagship hospital failed to keep a patient safe when she went into the operating room for what's widely considered a safe procedure.
And the health system's CEO told Nate Morabito he regrets that the woman went through all of this, and he promised Johnson City Medical Center is now better prepared to protect others.
This is a picture of Melba Lowe, known affectionately as Granny Huff. I'm about to show you what her family says the 89-year-old looked like after she left the operating room. Mountain States Health Alliance says an unfortunate accident led to those injuries, not a mistake, assuring us her care team was attentive. But we found out someone took their eyes off of this woman. If you search long and hard enough, often,
I think I've got them in here.
you eventually find what you're looking for.
Here they are.
But in those rare times you come up short,
It's going to take knowing what happened.
it's nearly impossible to move on.
We don't want this to happen to nobody else.
This family's search for answers began on July 15, 2016, when Karen Mazie and Frank Huff's mother went in for a routine endoscopy at Johnson City Medical Center, a procedure that required sedation.
It was an upper GI, yeah, you know. Put the tube down there, look around, and you're done.
Little did they know their mother would return with an arm tear, a cut on her face, a black eye, and a broken nose.
How would you like to have your mother brought back to the room looking like that?
Still in disbelief today,
I was shocked.
the siblings recall their mom's doctor
Acted totally and sincerely sorry.
telling them about an incident in the operating room.
All of a sudden, she was falling off the table. He tried to catch her. He couldn't support the weight, and she hit the floor. We all just sort of stared at each other with our mouths kind of, you know, like, what? She fell off the table.
The worst part,
It was hard.
less than 3 weeks later, their mother died.
Some days it's tough.
Her cause of death, cardiac arrest, respiratory failure, and colon cancer, all unrelated to the fall, according to the health system.
They found stage 1 cancer.
The cancer found just 2 days after her endoscopy. Maisie says she made a promise to her mother before she passed away,
I would look into this.
one she spent the last year trying to fulfill.
I'm not going to break a promise to my mother.
Unsatisfied with the hospital's initial explanation,
This was $694.
she bought copies of her mom's medical records.
The only thing we found was more questions.
But those records only include a handful of vague mentions of the fall. The most notable? A nurse who said she heard a noise, turned around, and found the patient on the floor. Maisie even hired an attorney, but in a written response, Mountain States Health Alliance's lawyer didn't go into specifics, only saying the woman suffered an unfortunate fall.
It's been a year and we still don't know what happened to her.
So they asked us to investigate.
Just a little while ago, they sat down and talked to us.
Not long after we got involved, the health system set up a meeting at the med center with the family.
I got a lot off my chest.
Maisie told us representatives listened more than they talked, but shared one important detail.
From now on, someone will be standing right there at the patient and will not turn away.
Initially, Mountain States wouldn't confirm to us that someone looked away. The health system said the patient, under moderate sedation, shifted or moved as the procedure ended and as the anesthesiologist turned off her medication. In a statement, Mountain States added the woman's side bed rail was down because staff needed to access her, and when she moved, the people next to her were unable to prevent the fall. Later adding the care team was attentive and working appropriately.
When something bad happens, we have to be willing to talk about it as well.
But eventually,
I take responsibility for it.
after multiple requests,
An organization becomes great when they recognize that they're not perfect.
CEO Alan Levine agreed to talk with us on camera about the case, and that's when we learned the full story. It seems unreasonable to expect a sedated patient in an operating room to fall. Aren't there enough protections in place to prevent that?
In this case, no. Obviously there weren't.
Levine told us every time something goes wrong, the health system opens an internal investigation, creates a corrective action plan, and alerts the board.
Besides the patient and the family, no one is more devastated when something happens to a patient than the nurses and doctors who are caring for that patient.
In this case, he said the same investigation that concluded the people in that operating room followed every procedure.
It's possible that they can follow the procedures and that things can still go wrong. And sometimes in those cases, you realize there's nothing we could have done in that case.
Also found someone took their eyes off the patient.
My understanding is there were several nurses there. This is one of those instances where somebody looked away and the patient shifted and the patient fell.
Couldn't it have been prevented had that person been looking at the patient?
Yes, but I would imagine so, but I don't know why. Standing here, I don't know why they looked away. They might have been turned away to look to get an instrument or something. But that's the part where you have to learn and try to adapt and make sure the rest of the team is taught. Here's what happened and here is how you can prevent it in the future.
He told us Mountain States takes safety seriously, adding its hospitals are among the safest in the country. We found this news release touting some of the Med Center's national rankings. Mountain States sent it out on August 2nd, 2016, the last day of Melba Lowe's life. She died on August 3rd.
4'10.5". She was little.
The tiny lady with a big attitude
Mama was very spunky.
and a love of gardening
She had flowers everywhere.
is now buried in a grave surrounded by flowers.
I guess I feel like I've taken care of her now as best I could.
Her children, their search for answers now complete, hope she's resting peacefully, knowing they kept their promise.
I can rest better. Hopefully she can too.
Nate Morabito, News Channel 11, in your corner.
Well, despite the situation, the family felt so grateful for some of the care their mom received. They thanked 5 JCMC nurses by name in their mother's obituary. Following Lowe's fall, medical records show staff treated her for her injuries. The health system reports it did not discipline any employees as a result of the situation, telling us that there are always consequences when warranted, but adding Mountain States wants nurses and doctors to never withhold information during an investigation or ever feel like management is losing confidence in their abilities.